Howdy doody. How's everyone doing tonight? So I figured I would read some comic books. There's this website that's like the Comic Book Museum, and it has basically all the Golden Age comics that you know nothing about. And if you wanted to read them, it would take, loads of money because either you got to find somebody that's reprinted them, and so there's a cost there, or um you could find the original issues. And some of these books, like especially the good ones, are going to cost you at the least, like a lot of the times, like $20 or $30. So and if they're really famous issues, they could cost thousands of dollars, especially golden age books. Like, they're money. We're not talking about Marvel, DC, or Atlas or National Publications. These are all Marvel and DC names. No, we're talking about Fawcett, Levi Gleason here, lots of different stuff. Hey, last man, how's it going, guys? And so, yeah, I figured. I've never seen this before, but I do like Lev Gleason's Publications. They're the one that published the original Daredevil, Crime Does Not Pay, and the other crime books. That's what they're famous for. I like Birdo's artwork. Now, we don't have one of his today, but I don't even know what his first name is, but I like it. So today we are going to read, boom, Captain Battle. Look at that. What is that? Look what we got here. We got ourselves a Captain America ripoff. I saw this and I was like, boom, that's what I'm going to do. Because I was, what is that? Get out of here. I don't remember what that website's called. Comic Book Museum. Let me go to it, and I'll put it in the chat so you can look at it yourself as well. Give me one moment. This video's come to a halt. We'll get here in a minute. There's like 60 pages of this too. Who knows how far we'll actually get. But my problem is, this website isn't the best for the functionality, if that makes sense. So like, you see the comics and it'll say what issues they are, and some portions you can see the cover. Then when you go to the actual name of the comic, like if you clicked on Captain Battle, it would say it has issues 1, 2, and 3. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. But the thing is that it doesn't show you the cover when you're clicking on the issue number. And so it's kind of overwhelming, if that makes sense. And especially if you don't know that much. Like, I know some about Golden Age comics, but I don't know, like, I'm not an expert or anything about that. So you start clicking on it and you're overwhelmed because you just see a list of just stuff and you're like, okay, well, where's the good stuff? And so I figured this looked good just because of the cover. We're going to go through it today and have some fun. Yeah, but you're not going to find early Superman on this website because it's all stuff that's not copywritten. It's not held out on that. So you can go and look at it for free. Superman, DC is going to make you pay for that. And they would shut that website down if they had Superman comics on there. All right. So what I thought was funny as soon as I saw this, though, it seems that they even copied Captain America. So I don't know the background of Bucky Barnes in the Golden Age. But here you got a kid tied to a bomb, and you have a figure that has a star on it, a hero here, red, white, and blue, or yeah. And he's punching what looks like a pointy hat guy. So it's different than a Nazi. It's a Klan member, right? So you have a different racist. So you got Captain America punching a racist with Bucky Barnes, or a Bucky Barnes copy, tied to a bomb, just like Bucky Barnes was. Now, I don't know if that's all coincidence, but it all seems it just cracked me up. So let's go through and see what's going on here. So it looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stories. And wow. So, of course, Captain Battle conquers the Nazi terror. All the comics in the Golden Age, if they were superheroes like this, they were going to fight the Nazis at some point. Captain Battle, savior of the Chunkling. Captain Battle and the League of Hooded Men. So that seems what the cover's about. We'll see when we get to the story what these hooded men are all about. Captain Battle and the Jungle Captive. Jungles, of course. Undercover Man. Blackout, Avenger of War Victims. You can tell that, like, you didn't have like Google back in the day, because Undercover Man, if like you wanted something like creative or something, they're just like, first name they can think of, print it, who cares. Back in the nowadays, you put Undercover Man, people are gonna be like, that's too corny. They probably thought it back then as well, but now you're gonna put Undercover Man and think if you can think of something better. Okay, let's continue on. Captain Battle, the fearless world war ace who rushes to the rescue of helpless conquered and occupied nations to free them from the terrible yoke of enforced slavery by the conqueror. Paris in spring of 1941. I can't even see what that says. Seated in the cocktail lounge of the Hotel Embassy are several German officers celebrating a Nazi victory. Hail Hitler! Ja! The French patrons hate the sight of them. Those, Monsieur, please. Ha ha ha. I can already think of other comics this is better than. I honestly can't even read that top left panel, so we're going to go right to nice boys. Careful, Migu. The Germans request a song of the fatherland. Unwilling, Rose Gordray is made to sing it for them. Hitler is my hero. That's the song. That I know, because Dr. Goebbels told me so. Poor Rose, I don't see how she does it. As she leaves the floor, Detzer, a German officer, swaggers over to her. Your reward for singing so beautifully is a special kiss from me. It's cheesy, but, it's got charm, right? I've been waiting for this. Heal Hitler. Hail Hit. Looking for fingers hooking two fingers under Detzer's collar. Voss? Captain Battle flips the startled officer over his back and into the others. Oof! Halt! Oof. Swing the enraged Detzer by one leg. Captain Battle floors the other officers. Look out for the rear admiral. Stop it. Bam! Right in the kisser. Releasing Detzer on the upper swing, he crashes into the chandelier. Stop it. And the whole caboodle comes crashing down. That is a weird hand right there. I'll allow it though, because this is pretty entertaining. At this, Rose leads upon the table to lead the Frenchmen in their national anthem, the Marseillaise. I probably pronounced that wrong, but all right. Ivan Detzler joins in on the song of the Free France. Suddenly, I can't see. There's something in my way. Quick, you must get out of here. The stormtroopers are coming. This way, Captain Battle. Out of this door. Uh-oh, here they come. Just then, the troopers break in. Revengeful Deltzer seizes Rose. So you make me sing the Marseillaise. This time you don't get away. See? Yaw. Ugh. Hiding behind the overturned table, Captain Battle fortifies himself with a heavy glass ornaments of the broken chandelier. A perfect hit right in the back of the head. Here's one for the boy with the squirt gun. Bap, right in the hand. I'll be with you boys in a minute. Come out. Captain Battle comes out swinging. As more of the troopers storm into the room, Captain Battle lets go of the chandelier, which traps the Nazis like an Argentine bola. Now's our chance out this side door to the alley. We're surrounded, no chance for escape this way. What'll we do? You can see the shadow. So you can't see the Nazi yet, but you can see the shadow right there. Suddenly, out of the darkness, quick in here, the three slid into a secret passageway as the soldiers trample by. Say, who are you? Well, oh, I just noticed he has an eye patch. That must be why you said the Nick Fury earlier. Follow me to a safer place. There you shall find quite a surprise. Quite. They are led along the tunnel, which enters into the large sewers under the city. Here they find a ladder leading up into one of the buildings. Welcome to our little home. This page actually looks a lot cleaner just because of the coloring, in my opinion. The colors are too like dark. I get that they're trying to make it dark, but like you can't read black on dark green. I gotta like get in like this. Captain Battle is greeted by a band of familiar faces, his buddies of the World War. Hello, Cap, you old bat. Joe, Ted, Fatch. He finds this is the secret headquarters of the Lafayette Post of the U.S. war vets. You see, we sort of liked it here after the war, so we got married and started it all over again. Ha ha. What? My name is Pretentus. I am commander of this post. We need your help. Would you? Would I? You bet. Nothing would give me more pleasure than another round with our friend Detzer. Hooray! Fine, now we are launching an underground campaign against the Nazis. Since you are an experienced war correspondent, you will be the editor in charge of underground propaganda. If Miss Corday is willing, the secretary's position is open. She's like, oh, you had me at secretary. Oh, gee, could I? I couldn't go back to the hotel anyway, and I do so want to help too. Since we haven't our printing presses installed yet, I have an idea how we can begin harassing the Nazis. Listen. The following morning, the Nazi-controlled French press appears with blitzkrieging attack on those who sang the Maasriel in the hotel embassy. Oh, that's the kid screaming that. I went there, swine, Captain Battle, and the girl Rose Corday arrested and brought here to me now. Clear out. I like how they have like sort of a combination of English and German at the same time. Except it's not like any actual German words. It's like what are those called? The der instead of und instead of and stuff like that. Yeah, we get them. Notices are posted on the kiosk notifying the public of the new death penalty for singing. But that evening, a group of weirdly clad figures enter the sewer system under the streets of Paris. Put those other two sets under the Rue de la Paix. Above the streets, today we hear no singing. Y'all, nice and quiet. Suddenly, was ist das? Guards, arrest those singers. We can't find anybody. Ach, so. I'm beginning to hear things. Listen, it is the voice of Mademoiselle Rose Corday. People of France, have courage. Soon we shall be free again. Hurrah for Mademoiselle Corday. Down with Hitler. There's Detzer. See what's going to go on next page. Get out of there. How do you bring up how many pages are left? 10 out of 68. Okay. Boss, I've got to get out of here. Later that evening, I've got a hunch, Bea, Dot singing is coming from. Look here, Datsa. So I was right. They don't fool Detsa no Zonga. Just then the ladder slips. So, Paris throws garbage at Detsa. The receiving The receiving sets are taken to Gestapo headquarters, where they intend to trace the transmitter by radio direction finder. Is that really a thing? We have to wait until they start the broadcast again. I go dry up. What? What does that mean? Meanwhile, Detzer's hot. They're wise to us. Don't start the broadcast. They've discovered our deceiving receiving sets. The rabble aren't going to broadcast again, but here's a short wave message to you from Dr. Goebbels. Dummkopf, swine, haunt. You let them sing and make them fools of the Reich. Herr Hitler wants to say a word to you. Ach, Thorsten, you schmucknicken. Later. Like, this story was pretty fun in the beginning, but the longer this has gone on, the kind of the cringier it's gotten. Herr Hitler is not pleased with this situation. We have got to clean up the underground, see? Ja. And don't come back without Captain on the girl, understand? Yes, sir, Herr Colonel. A few blocks away, veterans are installing phonographs with recording of Rosen's voice. This gag will drive out Detzer's nuts. This gag will drive old Detzer's nuts. Again, the strains of the Mademoiselle ring through the city. Dumb clomps, schnooken, imbeciles. Don't you hear the singing? Must I come down myself? One of the vet's wives passes by. La conga. 1, 2, 3, kick. So I got trouble by South America. Now to Stuken. Meanwhile, further down the sewers, there is Captain Battle Fire. He must have like quickly dodged if the bullets are flying by like that. And obviously the person shooting, Captain Dickens or whatever his name is, can't see him. Hand me down my Lucy flyers, then pull up the ladder. Doing his, I can't even see what, LUCE, loose flyers, powerful rocket tubes. Captain Battle hurls himself through the sewer like a cannonball. Like a cannonball? I feel like torpedo. I mean, he's not like, you know, when you jump into the water at the pool and you like tuck your knees and you yell cannonball. Torpedo is a better word here. And why, that is a really weird drawing right there. I see what they're going for, but it's goofy looking. Bah! Boom! Right in the back. He's got his tongue out and everything. Dot fish. He's laughing at me, Schnucken. Thus, the Nazis are routed from the underground, and Captain Battle soars back to the vet's headquarters. Oh, it's not the Nazis. Swell, now the printing presses are here. We can really start. People of France, all is not lost. There is yet hope for freedom. There it is. She typed it up, and there it is. Later that night, the longer the story goes on, it's not the worst, and I do like I kind of like the illustrations, but the longer it goes on, the worse the story gets. Like it was charming at first, and it just got worse and worse. Late that night, okay, Joe, hand up the papers. Let's go. Silently, they sprint through the streets, tossing the papers into the wind and posting others throughout the city. Then the populace is awakened by the string of Mademoiselle once again. Look, Papa! It is news from the underground movement. Vive Mademoiselle battle. He is right. There is hope yet. For France, we must slowly begin resistance. The following day, Frenchmen avoid the Nazis. They walk out of cafes whenever an officer enters. Come, Adolf, let us go. Is he talking to the. He must be talking to the dog. Is the gag that he's talking to the dog and the officer's like looking at him like smug? Something got to be done. Dot underground paper has given these French too much nerve. I got to think of something, y'all. Y'all, I got it. From now on, all Frenchmen in public spaces must remain there 15 minutes after the entrance of a German before they can leave. The French await instructions from the underground. Keep your eyes on the clock. Count the minutes. Now we see if they walk out on Detza. Let's see what the gag is this time. The moment Detzer enters, the Frenchmen bring forth their watches and lay them on the table before them. And after exactly 15 minutes elapses, they all get up and leave. Detzer is furious. Bah! What? I mean, he made up the rules. Back at Gestapo headquarters. Herr Detzer, might I have a word with you? I have a plan. I suggest we blow colored gas down the sewers. What? The gas will seep out of the secret headquarters of the underground, so then we can discover their location. Even he said the same thing. What? Look at the picture he has on his desk. It's about time you dumb cloths begin to use their noodle. I should throw you in a concentration camp for not thinking of this sooner. Stucken! Now get out so I can plan my underground blitzkrieg. Get out! Hello, Dr. Gables. This is Detza, yeah. Now, wait, listen. I just thought of an idea. How can I get rid of the underground, y'all? We will commence operations immediately. Give my love to Der Fuhrer. You're off Vonda Schaden. Now, you stupid oxes, get those wind machines set up and don't take all day about it, neither. It's a good thing I've got smart colonel like Detza, y'all. Oh boy, back to green. Dark green and black. Let's try to read it, huh? Huge wind machines soon pumping the colonel's gas down the labyrinth of sewers. Just let them try to sing the Mademoiselle now. Captain Battle, look, purple gas. Oh boy. Purple haze all in my brain. Boom, down, 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 down. Yeah, that's a lot easier than sending a whole army of men down to get lost in those snook-and soozers. Slowly, the gas has begun to creep into the very entrance of the underground. This is Dutz's work. We got to seal up every crack so that the gas won't escape, to tell the Nazis of our headquarters. The veterans all being home, resting after the night activities, Rose and Captain Battle struggled to keep the telltale gas from escaping. Captain Battle, look. Why do they care that much about the gas? They got gas masks on. Just like get out of there, right? I guess we got to see what goes on next, right? Boss is help gas. Well, all they did was gas their own guys. And you can't even read it. It's upside down. So he's basically hurt. Okay, Delta, we'll be right out. Only don't shoot. Painter's ink. Oh, he got hit in the face with the ink. We must destroy all evidence of papers of the underground. So they're going to blow up everything. Break in the door. Drag out das Fine by the ears. Above the roof. Hey, Deltzer. Boss? Oh, he just Macaulay Culkin'd him. You remember in Home Alone? All set. Hold tight, because here we go. Do we have to go right away? So this is like the Rocketeer. Ooh. Yes. Doggone it. Just then. There they go. Call the airport. We got to catch them or Herr Detza will go nuts. A few moments later, a squadron of Stukas take the air. Here we go, hop a ride. I like how the panel here, like it's just a normal panel, but it also loops around as them jumping into the plane. It's kind of cool. Okay, bud, I'll take over now. Like, what? He's like, you NPC, get out of my way. It's time for me to take over this story. Soon, the other planes are knocked out of the sky in rapid succession. This is the last one. Switching the radio to the wavelength of pretentious shortwave radio. Pretentism, I'm taking Rose to England for her safety. I'll return immediately. It's going along good. I mean, actually, I know I said it was getting worse as it went along. I've liked the last few pages. Like it's like a roller coaster of cringe. But the key in comic books is be interesting, be entertaining. Even if it's cringe, be entertaining with the cringe, right? Later, we're nearing England now. So we had better leave this plane if we don't want to get blown out of the sky. See? But Captain, do you have to squeeze me so tightly? Sound the alarm. Hi, say that a boomin' party Chuntus trying to invade London all by myself. Easy does it. That ain't no parachute. That's Captain Battle. So, of course, he's like world renowned. And, the Rocketeer, his jetpack is what he's known for. Captain Battle, is it? We've been Earthlings. We've been hearing things about you. We've been hearing things? Hearing? There's a typo. And old sewer puss Deltzer won't be you be so kind as to stay here in London and drive off the blooming bombers? Talk about bad dialogue. Yes, please stay here. No, I cannot stay. There is so much to be done yet in France. I cannot leave the veterans. Now I must go back and establish a headquarters for the underground. Hey, I do like that. That is like a romantic transition there, and then he takes off. He's like, "Kiss the damsel, now take off." With the Captain Battle rockets into the sky on his way back to Germany. He wasn't in Germany. That's a continuity error there. They were in France. Herr Detza has just emerged from the underground. Just when I get the Captain Battle chased out of the country, I got to fall into the Schnucken Sua again. Bah! But the people's struggle for peace and freedom called Captain Battle to new, still more exciting adventures in the next month's Silver Streak. So I think there's even more Captain Battle stories in other comics, and he only got like 3 issues of his own comic. Oh boy, that actually looks pretty bad. Oh my goodness. Torture, death. Is this okay? So this is a Japanese story. Torture, death, and Japanese spy. These were the ingredients of a mystery that plunged Captain Battle from the Frisco waterfront to war-torn China. So they're in China this time, fighting the Japanese. For the Japanese would stop at nothing, and the fate of Asia is at stake. Mm. Dusk falls over the San Francisco's famous waterfront as Captain Battle goes for a stroll. And if you don't happen to know, San Francisco has it's like the most famous Chinatown. I've been there once and it was pretty cool. Say, what's going on here? Riding along the wharves, he discovers a dock brawl. Take that, honorable dog. 4 Japanese, 1 Chinese. I'll lower the odds a little. Take that, most honorable skunk. One of the Japanese whips out a gun. This will liquidate audacious American. Bam! Right in the chest. Yow! But the slug merely grazed Captain Battle. He recovers his senses to hear. A motorboat, that must be my pals. The captain prepares for action. He dons his uniform and the flyer, the jetpack. Now nip the Nipponese. His body hurls through the air over the San Francisco Bay. There, they are heading towards a fishing boat. In a little while, Lesung, we will take the gag off. Then we will have a little chat. I could swoop down now, but what would it get me? I'll follow and see what it's all about. The launch pulls up to a Japanese fishing boat. Captain, ahoy! We have a prize. Fish for you. Captain Battle, dive bombs, the crow's nest. I mean, that is the smart thing to do, right? Take out the crow's nest. He can't tell you what's going on because nobody else is like looking out as a watch. Before the lookout can utter a peep. Quiet, please. I mean, he did say something. Stealthy, he descends the rigging. He enters a passage leading to the hold. Phew. I thought there was something fishy down here. Pile of fish. The thing I just realized is, so we just read, like how many pages is it? Like a 20-page story about him in France, and then he flew to Germany. But the next story, we're in San Francisco, and he's fighting the Japanese. Little continuity error here. I know it's a completely different story, but it's like, well, if you're saying he's going to Germany, you would think the next story would be in Germany. Just saying. He removes a door, opens it he moves to a door, opens it slightly. So there he is. He sees the three Japanese with the captive here, who's a Chinese. As an agent of the Chinese government, you are well aware of the location of General Lemizo, Mao Tung's secret base. I advise the honorable Japanese agent Hatasuka to take celestial jump at himself. You'll do the jumping, my friend. Tie the dog to a chair. Perhaps Lising, a red-hot blade, will persuade you to reveal the whereabouts of Mao Sung's 10th Route Army? Perhaps, but I doubt it. Got him. We'll see. Heat the knife. Whoop. Called his bluff? Oh boy. The Chinese agent smiles as Hatsug approaches him. No one need hold my hands. Proceed. The searing blade goes under one of Sealing's fingernails. Gross. No longer able to stand the sight of torture, Battle crashes in. Battering ram tactics, 1941 version. Pardon, is that the video game? The Japanese one that the Japanese made of America, like battling the Japanese in an air battle on Nintendo NES. It's probably some niche reference I'm making. Battering ram tactics. Pardon the intrusion, bums. Li Sing enters the fray. Meet your friend. Have a chair. Oh, imagine if Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the 90s said that when he smashed somebody in the face. Breaking from the fracas battle, and Li Sing rushed to the deck. Grab my arm. We're going for a sky ride. With the loose flyer, they soar high into the air. Hatsuka is air-minded too. Swing out the secret catapult. Japanese seaplane soars toward the fleeing pair. His guns spit flame. Nothing like a dogfight, dogs. It was a lot funner when you had the German. At least some of the words were German words, but I don't know any Japanese, or they don't have any variants of that. A stream of bullets pour down. Sorry, but I'm shot. What? Another fusillade. There goes my Lucy Flyers. Oh, so they got him. What a splash. Ha ha! Battle pulls Lasing to the surface, but he's dying. Thanks, Captain. Remember China. No. Lasing dies. A battle turns toward Frisco. I've got to fix my loose flyers. In a hidden laboratory. That does the trick. Now for China. They're out of sight. Think I'll head for Tuzin, the Japanese-held port. Like a comet, he booms over the Pacific. Tuzin, last stop now, find Mr. Hatsuka. I mean, how much more is this story got? Like, they rescued the guy, he died. Somehow he swam and then fixed his jetpack, but like, whatever. This story's worse than the last one. Night and day battle lurks outside Japanese army headquarters, watching. No luck, yet say. Suddenly, he darts into the shadows. Curious, but this guy is the dead image of Li Sing. But it can't be him. He died in my arms in Francisco Bay. Oh, the plot thickens. One thing's sure, Lasing would never call on the Japanese, not even his ghost. The captain shoots up to the window. I think this is the general's office. He takes a peek and sees Hatsuka, reporting general. Your disguise is excellent. What have you learned, Mao Zedong? See, if you didn't notice anything from the previous story, they like people nowadays like to take old comics, and of course they'll take like the Asian character here and be like, look how ugly they made him. But that was the storytelling device. A character that was a villain always had to be ugly. So if you go back to the first story and look at that villain, he looked exactly like this character. I'm just saying, at least in this publication. Chinese underground sources, believing me to be Li Sing, confided that Mao Zedong and a few officers left their base to go chunking to arrange for supplies. To go chunking? What the? Is chunking actually a word? Diving into chunks. Grouping together. I don't know. We're just going to keep going. Making is still in Chinese. Hands through, we've been storming for it for days. Suppose you go there and kidnap Mao Zedong. Bring him back alive. I want to know the location of his secret base. Meanwhile, a gun barks outside the eavesdroppers is discovered. Whew, that was close. That's how I usually, like, if somebody shoots at me and it's like this close, like, whew, I'm like, dang, man, that was definitely very close. Come down, spy. Glad to oblige you. This isn't war, it's a picnic. That's a pretty good panel, actually, though. It's pretty, like, uh, it's not like a Kirby panel, but you know, it gets the job done. I guess it's an adequate. It's a basic panel, I guess. I don't know. It's not very good. It's suitable for telling you what's going on, and that's about it. Battles, fist beat out a lullaby. Go to sleep, babies. What more? Seize him. He's a spy. I think I'll indulge in some fencing. Oh boy. What? As the Japanese charge, he swings the fence beam. Climb on, boys. Here's always more room for more. Oof. Ah. Meow. It's creative, I guess. It's not really good idea, but you know, whatever. And then, of course, he flies away. Up he goes. If I had time, boys, I'd give you an honorable Bronx cheer. From below, a searchlight probes the sky, caught like a moth in a flame. Anti-aircraft guns go into action immediately. I've got to douse that searchlight. Blackout. Fleeing under cover of darkness, he makes his way across the Japanese lines. At last, chunking Chinese chunking? It's the chunking word again. Chinese territory. I've got to get to army headquarters in War Mao Tung. Out of the shadow looms a sentry. Halt! Who goes there? A friend. I've come to see Mao Sheng. A Chinese officer appears. You did? Odd. Only a spy would know Mao Sheng is chunking. Spy? Absurd. I'm an American. A friend of China. What? Your credentials, then. I travel light. You might call me a minister without portfolio. A likely story. You may tell it to Mao Sheng, Min. Take him in charge. As the soldiers lead battle through the streets, who comes along but Hatsuka, disguised as Lao Sing? What's up, Lieutenant? Spy, suspects, sir. Calls himself Captain Battle. I've heard of him. He is reported to be an agent in the pay of the Japanese. Well, I'll take charge of him. Go to headquarters and report to the capture. You'll get a medal for this. The captain is deprived of his lucifliers and his pistol. I've got to hand it to you. You've got your nerve. Stand him against that wall. We'll give him a speedy send-off. Well, here we go. It's gonna happen. Oh boy, he's gonna get shot down. Captain Battle is led to a wall. Firing squad is formed. Goom. Ready. Aim. But before Hatsuka can give the order to fire, the roar of motors is heard overhead. They are Japanese planes. There is a loud blast, a flash. It is a bombing raid. The firing squad whirls. What a break. Stop, men. We've got to shoot the spy. You do it. We're in a hurry. Enraged, Hatsuka seizes a fallen gun, presses the trigger, but it jams. This ought to do the trick just as well. Bap! Recovering his senses, Battle staggers to his feet to find gone. But I'll find him if I have to chase him across Asia. Aren't they in like, am I wrong, or are they in San Francisco, or did they like travel to China? I'm kind of lost in the story a little bit. They have to be in China because they went to somebody's base. The Japanese war machine, pulvire of culture, comes to bring new order to the Chinese barbarians. And yeah, okay, so we're in China. And if some Chinese die in the process, that, as the Japs would say, is too bad. So you have a bombing going on. Down zoom fighting, planes, guns, spurting as the strafe help, less citizens. Most amusing. What? Most amusing indeed. Ugh! Meanwhile, Hatsuka glares upward. The fools, they would attack just when I was getting rid of the spy. For reply, another bomb drops, too close to Hatsuka for comfort. I'd better duck into this cellar. Oblivious to the death that rains from the sky, Captain Battle continues his hunt for Hatsuka. Suddenly, he whirls at the sound of a pignet cry. Help, help, my baby! My baby! Her home's been hit. I'll have to get them out of this. I wonder if when they like drew some of these symbols here, if they looked up like what they actually mean, or they just like drew some stuff. But as Captain Battle starts toward the woman, he fights his way through the acid smoke. Poor thing, she's dying, but the kid seems okay. Forgive me and save my baby. Someday, he too can fight to free China. Hopefully. But he's probably just going to be one of the 50 million people that died of communism, unfortunately. With the baby in his arms, Battle heads for an air raid shelter. He reaches it unscathed. Thank you. We are very grateful. It was a pleasure. Battle turns. His Eve falls on Hatsuka. Ah, there you are. You mean there I was. He chases him all the way into no man's land. I can't shake him off. The lieutenant who arrested Battle sees the chase, and there, that spy Battle. Shoot him! Excuse me. The Chinese soldiers let go of a fluticide. Dodging bullets, Battle hurls himself into the air. Got him. What is that? Duliping? Knock Hatsuka's makeup off. Oh, here's one for China. Meanwhile, in the Chinese trench, why that isn't Lising, it's a Jap in disguise. Hold your fire, men. Well, here's the last page. This might be this story is definitely worse than the previous one. The previous one had like some charm to it, in my opinion. This one is just like WTF? Like, what is going on? Let's go, Hatsi. In the Japanese lines, an officer sees a battle drag as Hatsuka toward the Chinese trenches. Open fire and don't worry about Hatsuka. He is no longer of any use to us. Battle drags his prisoner to safety. Later, at the headquarters of General Mao Zedong, start talking, Hatsi. Don't be bashful. I came to kidnap the honorable general. I would have succeeded, but for this American meddler, it's literally the Scooby Doo. It's the Scooby Doo. After Hatsuka is led to prison, you have done a great service for me and China. I will give you my heartfelt thanks. You're welcome, General. If you need me, just drop me a line. Follow the one and only Captain Battle in fast-moving, exciting adventures exclusively in Silver Streak Comics every month. We may need to check out Silver Streak Comics because the Scooby-Doo ending here brought it right in for me at the end. The first story, though, the German story, was pretty good. Like, it started out very endearing and I liked it. Then it was just sort of boring. And then near the end, it picked back up again. This one was more like it just wasn't that good. Like the beginning, oh, you're gonna go save this person. Oh, he died. Oh, now it's some sort of weird spy story and blah 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 blah. Like, okay. So here's what the cover of the comic was. This has got to be the best story, right? So we'll read this one. How far are we in? We're an hour in. We'll see what we're at after I finish this story. This has got to be the best one. If it's the cover, if it's not the best story, then the whole comic sucks. And I've got to say, 1, 2, 3, 4 huge blocks of exposition in the free. I know this is a Golden Age comic, and that's like the standard, but that many blocks of exposition in the beginning of the comic, it's not very good. Okay, I've readied myself, prepared it. Captain Battle, famous hero of World War I, lost an eye. Where have we seen that before? I lost an eye while fighting hand to hand in Kutatheri. Returning home, he dedicated his life to destruction of evil. His many secret inventions, wide knowledge, and amazing strength form an unbeatable combination. Defender of American democracy, fighter for justice, Captain Battle is America's hero, the idol of the nation's youth. Chicago, teeming metropolis, which rid itself of the nation's worst racket mobs, again hits the front page of Captain Battle, dedicated to freedom's cause, pits himself against a sinister group of men who appropriately call themselves the FFF, Fire, Force, and Fear. They are the dream enemies of the people. What? They are the dreaded enemies of the people. As the fearful shadow of the FFF looms over the city, a group of men gather on the north side. Bristol Barlett, head of the American Committee of Preservation of Democracy, addresses the meeting of worried patriots. Gentlemen, one of the most dangerous democratic groups of the country has established headquarters in the city. Bartlett pauses to ask the reporters a favor. Among them, Kelly, Captain Battle's newspaper pal. What I'm going to say now must be withheld from publication for our country's sake. Do you agree, boys? Sure. You can trust us, Mr. Bartlett. They haven't even said anything yet. This might be the worst page I've ever seen in comics. Oh my god. Okay. Take what I just said and apply it to this page. I mean, you have a white page, then you have a ton of panels, but most of them are black or silhouettes. We have learned that the Chicago Hooded League has branches in all major cities calling themselves the FFF, and their leader's name is the chairman about to make a startling disclosure. The lights go out. What the? Find the switch. I've got it, but it doesn't work. Suddenly, a needle of light pierces the darkness. Slowly, it moves across the faces of the audience. What is this gag? It's coming from the balcony, and it stops abruptly on Bartlett's face. Hey, cut out that light. For one ominous moment, the light lingers on the patriot's face. Then a shot rings out. Ah! A bullet right in the head. Let's get him. But the door leading to the balcony opens, revealing Captain Battle. Too late, but not too late to get the killer. So he's dead. And they didn't even make it gruesome. So honestly, I didn't even realize like he's supposed to be dead until they like basically hit it like 2 or 3 times. Captain Battle discerns a strange green hooded figure with a looping swing. He goes into action. Sweet dreams, rat. Yo! But the hooded man recovers and viciously swings the butt of his rifle. Got him. I'm not the mood for dreaming, fellow. So they've already hit everything in this comic. They went to Germany. Well, they were in France, but he eventually flew to Germany. It said he went back to Germany, even though the story took place in France. They went to China, and now they're in San Francisco and fighting what's a placement of the Klan, even though the Klan should be in the South. The cut wires are fixed. The lights flash on the hooded man has disappeared. The rifle is equipped with a flashlight like the ones used for hunting moose at night. Well, Captain Battle, what hit you? What hit him? You can see it right there. The guy hit him with the butt of the gun, which, like, multiple times in this comic, somebody has hit somebody with a rifle butt. Nobody's like shot anybody. Well, except for right here, but apparently shot him in the brains, but they didn't show anything. Oh, whoever drew this, like, I really like the artwork previously to this. This is bad. Suddenly, a man at the press table downstairs points to an accusing finger at Captain Battle. Absurd, the killer slugged me with this gun. He's the murderer, and I'm going to say so in my paper. Suspected of the slaying, the captain makes a break for freedom. Sorry, fellows, but this hurts me more than it does you. See you later, Kelly. Not if I see you first. You've got a jail written all over you. Is the cat As the captain smashes his way out of the meeting room, Kelly rushes back to the press. Yeah, killed instantly. A reporter suspects Captain Battle, but I'm not so sure. After shocking the cops who ran into the hall, Captain ran to the emergency exit and jumped to the street. Fools, I wonder what they'd do if they knew the Slayer was standing right behind them. Having phoned the story to his office, Kelly goes to the hotel lobby where he meets Captain Battle's secretary. And we found out about that in the previous story, or first story. Gosh, he would knock the police force around. That guy is trouble. You know, the captain, excuse me, I see a man. Don't like, I'll be back in a jiffy. Kelly trails the newspaper who has accused the captain of Barlett's murder. I thought I recognized him. He's Thompson, editor of Midwest Nationalist, a paper that likes the way Hitler does things. Now is the time to strike while the town's chasing Captain Battle. As Kelly follows Thompson, Captain Battle, having donned civilian clothes, steps from the shadows. Follow that limousine. Don't spare the horses, Joe. I'm in a hurry. Follow that taxi. Stepping into the limousine, Thompson gets a shock. What the? Major Davis? If my makeup fooled you, it ought to fool the army. Bob Stewart, perfect. But what happened to the major? He reposes at the bottom of the Chicago River. I suppose you got rid of Barlett? Bob Stewart, an aide of Thompson's, has killed the major and is in disguise, is taking his place. As he picks up a short-wave radio microphone, Thompson explains, I had to work fast. Running to the press table from balcony was hard enough, but the Captain Battle almost upset my plans. Calling all league cars. What are you doing? I thought the uprising starts tomorrow. Calling the league, attention. Your leader speaks. Strike now. Frame the people's democratic leaders. Smash churches and unions. Spread terror. Show no mercy. The three cars wind through the loop. Once the scene of brutal gang murders. The way they've been doubling back and forth looks suspicious to me. I better put on my uniform. Calling cars 2 and 3 of the league. 2 taxis are following me. Get rid of them. Look, like, what is happening here? And then, how did the blue car get behind the red car? But then these 2 other cars, there's not a white car. Responding to the call of their leader, 2 sedans loaded with hooded men, coverage of the taxis. Then machine guns battle. Ha ha! How do you like the ride, boys? Chicago style. They're using incendiary bullets. Kelly's cab is on fire. Okay, we got like 4 or 5 pages left. So Captain Bullish shows up. Captain Battle shows up. Our hooded pals are screaming. Guess I ought to thank you, but I won't till I know who you are. Someday, say, what's that noise? Boom! Looks like the League has started its dirty work. We must stop its spread across the country. I'll call my office. See you later. Disguised as honest railroad workers, a gang of hooded men plant a bomb on the tracks of the L. It explodes with roar as a string of cars plunge into the street of working men are blamed as the reign of terror begins. Hooded men pour into the street. The decent citizens are cowed. Such scenes are duplicated throughout the city. Down with democracy, up with fascism. Now we surrender. I'd rather wear a hood than a wooden box. They'll chain you with living death. All those who love freedom follow me. He's right. Come on. We can only die once. Kill, kill, kill. If Washington were alive, this is one fight he wouldn't miss. The office of the city-wide press agency. Swell story, Kelly. Now go to the military club. All the Army officers in town are going there to set up emergency headquarters. What? Who is this guy? What? Just all of a sudden, Superman looking guy, huge. He's saying into here, he's talking, the press is the agency. It's the press, a huge Superman looking guy. So not only in this comic are we copying Captain America, but all of a sudden he's also he can fly with a jetpack. So I said that guy's name earlier, the Rocketeer, and Bucky Barnes and Nick Fury. All this stuff might be coincidence, but it seems it's really weird. Meanwhile, beat it down to the military club major and don your stuff. I'm going to watch the League's progress from my plane. Concealing the gun under his coat, the fake officer enters the military club. We've been looking all over for you, Major Davis. We're setting up a plan to defend the city. Good evening, General. What? In the conference room, confidential order to all Army posts in Area 52. So it's not Area 51, it's Area 52. Send reinforcements at once. Situation out of police control. I'll have to put a stop to that. The attack can be launched from 3 points. Suddenly, the fake officer goes into action. Sorry, but the conference is over, gentlemen. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat! The machine gun mows down the officers. Captain Battle and Kelly break into the room. Now to countermand that order for reinforcements. Oh, no, you don't. Here's one for freedom. What the? Oh, the democracy and liberty and the people. Yeah. Boy, if I only had a camera. Wearing makeup, huh? Well, I thought you were a phony. Start talking. Where's Thompson? He's gone to the airport to have a survey and direct the league from the air. So this is kind of cool because you got propaganda. You got the idea of propaganda. You got spy with makeup, which would be like, fake faces and stuff like espionage and all that sort of stuff. Tying up Stewart, Captain Battle, and Kelly rush out of the club. A policeman recognizes him. Stop. You're wanted for the murder of. I've no time to talk now. Maybe we'll discuss it later. Captain Battle and the reporter rush to the airport. Thompson, you mean the editor of the Midwest Nationalist? He just went up in his private plane, a fast green job. We're going up to in the army plane. Oh no, you're not. Oh yes, we are. Like a vulture Thompson for its prey to the die, Thompson hovers over Chicago. Flame, destruction, what a pretty sight. Ah, the Chicago River. Calling the league, blow up all bridges. Oh, they really do. A tremendous series of blasts shake the city. The hooded men continue their slaughter, but the embattled people offer a stout resistance. Over this scene of terror and death flies the gloating Thompson, the man who would rule America. Ha 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 ha! Kill! Mercy, mercy! The leader said, show no mercy. Wham! The captain and Kelly ranged the sky in the search of Thompson. At last, Kelly spots the object of their hunt. There it is, the green plane, set for a dive. I'm going to pump him full of lead. That won't stop the fascists. Just hover over him. I've got an idea. What are you going to do? Board him in midair. What the? 2 more pages. The captain attempts the most dangerous feat in aerial stunting. Hooray for the man on the flying trapeze. If Thompson takes a notion to bank or dive, I'll miss. I'd rather not use my loose flyers, his jetpacks. But Thompson has another notion. I don't like intruders, mister. Take a walk. Missed me as a sharpshooter. He'd make a swell bum. You rat. Before Thompson. Okay, so this. Okay. I'm looking at this. I would have thought it was a Japanese person based off the previous story and the coloring, but it looks like in the next panel, it's a different coloring. So I guess we're going to have to read the whole thing. Before Thompson can fire again, the captain lunges. Does do as I say, or I'll melt you into a jello pudding. Yow! Grabbing the gun, the captain barks an order. Call your pals and tell them they're beaten. Tell them to retreat. Calling the league, cease firing. We've lost. Report at once to headquarters. Learning the location of the league, headquarters, the captain twirls the Dalto police. We've length and a civilian patriot police sergeant in a patrol car pick up the captain's voice, calling all police cars and friends of democracy. Proceed to the Nationalist building. The hooded men will be falling back there. Long live democracy. He's right. All the shooting stopped. Let's go. Meanwhile, as the column of loyal army reinforcements nears Chicago, the revolt is over, sir. Our orders are to return to camp. Just when we were looking forward to some fun. I'll bet Captain Battle had something to do with this, lucky dog. Police round up the hooded men. Come on, you rats, move on. Don't shoot, we've had enough. Keep moving. The chief's office at police headquarters. Captain Battle, yes, I've wanted power. Yes, I've wanted power. He was in my way and had to be removed. Here's Barlett's killer. Later at the hotel, don't ask me when the excitement started. I knocked on his door. There was no answer, so I spent the last few hours in the cellar with the other guests. Well, it's all over. Where's the captain? The captain appears in civilian clothes. Speak of the devil, where have you been? Ho hum, just sleeping. Why? Anything happen? Huh? Captain Bowell, Silver Streak, comics every month. Get it quick. The sensational Daredevil comics. So, if you have anything to say, if you want to come on and like actually talk, I mean, I'll send you a link. Otherwise, why are you even commenting this? It's kind of cringe. I'll be right back though. I go to the bathroom. Thank you for letting me know, Last Man. You've obviously been watching from the beginning. Um, I'm glad I'm that entertaining. Thanks for the comment though, because that would have been embarrassing. Yeah, I'm back. Mr. Furious TV, if you want to come on and address whatever is upsetting you, it's whatever. Whatever. I mean, what is there to say? You called me fake gay Christian. Well, I'm not gay and I'm not fake. So, you know, let me know. I'll send you a link. You can come on and talk to me. And that's how things work, right? So I'm going to open these beers. We're going to read Drums Over Africa. I don't want to give my opinions over these comics. I think the first story was actually pretty good. The second one was the Japanese and China one. It was not as good. And then the third one, this one was the Chicago one. That one was trash. Let's see how this, which is unfortunate because that's the one that was the cover of the comic. I don't think they wanted to copy Captain America 100%, so that's why they didn't do that. They threw in the trash story and made that the cover. I kind of like the cover though. I'll be honest. I hated that story though. So, Drums Over Africa. Night, the velvet night of the African jungle fell like the cloak over Rombasa. From the camouflaged support of the outer skirts of the village came a low hum. It swelled to a roar. Transport planes loaded with German soldiers with a thundering upward. By the J. Dagger, Captain Battle, concealed by the shadow of a tree on the edge of the forest, paused to look up at the gray cigar-like shapes of the big jonkers heading east. He said to himself, I wonder. He broke off suddenly. I've got more to do than worry about German planes. They've got Lance Hall in the jug. I, I've got to get him out somehow. Suddenly there are the scrape of a heavy boot. A Nazi sentry are approaching. Noisily, Battle withdrew, becoming part of the jungle. The jungle could talk, and Lance Hale knew how to make it speak when Captain Battle had to send his warning to the British under attack. All right, let's see what's next. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we got a whole written story here. Well, maybe it's good. Thought I saw something moving here, the soldier said, half aloud. Guess it was some animal. Rifle on soldier, he turned. Then Battle leaped, fist swinging. I caught the sentry square on the chin. Without a word, the sentry slumped on the ground. Battle smiled grimly. Just about my size. He dragged the limp figure into the jungle. A few minutes later, he emerged in the gray uniform of the sentry. Lance Hale, soldier of fortune, stared dully at the floor of his cell. In the mud jail of the Rombasa, and waited for the dawn. The previous night, as he stole toward the hut of the Nazi commandant in search of information for the British Secret Service, he had been captured. He was to die on the morrow. Suddenly, he raised his eyes. I don't know how to make this bigger. I was messing with this earlier, but the cell door had opened. Before him stood the turkey, a sour smile on his rat face. Beside him was a German soldier. They are going to execute you in a little while. Ahead of schedule, the turkey said. Lance rose slowly from his coat. Okay, I'm ready. The soldier led him into the almost deserted street. A wild idea of escape flashed through Lance's brain, but the soldier seemed to divine the thought. I wouldn't if I were you, he said, raising his gun. He seemed to be smiling. To Lance, it seemed they had been walking hours, but they were only on the edge of the jungle. Well, where's the firing squad? He demanded. Let's get it over with. Don't be a sap, the soldier said. Lance's eyes popped as the other took off his helmet. Captain Battle, well, I'll be. I was told you might be in custody. Learn anything? Plenty. The Nazis are going to blitz. Did ya? The British base. Tomorrow morning, surprise attack. Battle's jaw fell. It's a 500-mile trip, but the loose flyers ought to get us there. He whipped off the gray tunic, revealing the familiar rocket mechanism on his back. Grab my arm. Flame flashed from the rocket as Battle and Lance roared into the air. I won't be long now, Lance said, smiling. But he was wrong, for from below came the rat-a-tat-tat of the anti-aircraft gun. They had been spotted. A streak of white tracer bullets cut from the night. Bang! There you go, loose flyers, Battle cried. We're going to crash into a tree. They flung up the arms as the tree rushed up to meet them. Oof! Desperately, their hands closed over the welter of branches into which they had fallen. They clung there a moment, panting. Then they descended, faces bleeding, their bodies bruised. Now what? Said Battle. With the loose flyers damaged, we'll never get to Dibya to warn them. Lance grinned. I've got an idea. Come here. Come along. Wandering Battle followed him into the jungle. Deeper and deeper they went until the stars disappeared. The jungle now was like a gigantic pit. Ah, here it is, Lance whispered tensely. Battle bent closer. What? Lance's hand swept aside a carpet of twigs, revealing a long hollow log. Beside it lay a club. Go ahead, Battle. I'll bite. For a reply, Lance grabbed the club and began to beat the log. Boom, boom, boom! Lance straightened them up. Listen. From the distance, there came an answering boom 3 times. I've got friends among the natives, Lance explained, hurried. This is the jungle telegraph. They'll relay my message across Africa. He sank to one knee, and the forest responded to the eerie sound. Boom, boom, boom! One hour later, a big native, his body strained with sweat and dust, staggered into the headquarters of the Dibdia Division of the British Army of the Nile. Lieutenant Colonel Howard Smith leaped to his feet. Sumbia, what brings you here? The big African gasped out a reply. Jungle Bombia talk. It's a big force German soldiers headed this way. Surprise attack, rising of sun, message from Lance. Then battle must have helped him escape. Smith, what? Smith ejaculated. He whirled, picked up a phone. All leaves canceled. Radio the fleet, all for reinforcements. Order the women, children into the air raid shelters. We'll give these blitzers a little surprise. It was midday, and the sun was a fiery ball as Battle and Lance pushed on toward Dibia. We ought to hear from them soon, Lance said, unless the message got there too late. I hope not. It made a massacre. Battle broke off. Say, do you hear what I hear? Do you hear what I hear? Lance listened intently. A faint smile appeared on his lips, for the silent jungle was speaking. Boom, 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 the jungle said. What's the message? Battle demanded impatiently. Lance translated the code aloud. Nazis attacked, but garrison prepared. We won. Thanks to you. Cheerio, Smith. The two men grinned at each other, then resumed the weary trek. In the distance, booming faded. The jungle had spoken. The end. The Undercover Man. Look at this guy right here. Is that a guy or a ma'am? I'm actually saddened that Furious TV didn't want to say anything. Didn't even say anything else. Just came in to say his comment and then left. How much pages do we have? So 20 more pages. That's actually not that many. I got 2 beers. I got 20 pages. I'm at an hour and 45 minutes. I can continue and finish this. Have I enjoyed the comic? I've enjoyed a lot of it. Reading that, the short story, I mean, it's not that good of a story, but it was all right. The Undercover Man. So the spy. So it's 007 with a really weird name. By Nathaniel Nitkin. Dennis Neville. Flower lady. Toughy socialite or immigrant. No matter. Under what disguise Phil borrows was first of a very good detective. Nobody knew him as the undercover man who seemed to know what gangsters and criminals would do next. He always knew. That name is gold. Earlier, I said back in the day, they obviously didn't have Google because that's the first thing this guy thought of. He was like, undercover man. Fuck it. We're going with it. Right? Detective Phil Burrows reports to the homicide squad at Center Street headquarters. Howdy, boys. Have you dibs taken your watches yet? Taken? Well, I'll be jiggered. If it ain't Phil Burrows, the kid that made good at 11th Precinct. Low wolves ain't popular here, kid. Detective Captain Cassidy has an assignment for the new member of the homicide squad. You, Detective Phil Burrows, go to this address, dopey. Brody was found shot in his sleep. He was a stool pigeon. I'll do my best, sir. Is the English off in the mic? Is this... I don't know. Cassidy thought he would get him rid of me for a spell, but I'll show him, dopey. Brody was the DA's squeal on Joe the Snake. Shot in heart, throat, and head by 38 bullets. Has the me been here yet? Has the me been here yet? Has the me star been here yet? Yeah, said Dopey. Was shot in his sleep about 2 a.m. Sweet death for a squealer. Shouldn't have been a squealer. Almost did a South Park there. My fingerprints? Question mark? Not much, Dopey. Left plenty. Then there were some girlies' prints, but the killers must have worn gloves. How do you know? Like, didn't this death like just happen? As Phil Burrows, I hear Burrows, and because it's a quarterback, like it makes me think football. I know that this is like recently quarterback, but anyways, let's continue. Is about to leave. He sees Eduardo Duani, a political ward healer, talking to a rookie policeman. Okay, so we have some Spanish guy talking to a policeman. Donnie is his ward district. He may know something about Dwari's killings. For the last time, I'm warning you not to press that disorderly warrant on Bugs Halloran. Reagan, you know I can break you. If you do what I say, you will find a bonus in your paycheck. No cheap politician can bribe me. There you go. I actually want to... I'm going to copy that. Later in the day, as a patrolman, Reagan walks along the sidewalk. A sedan passes him by. Bap, 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 bap. And he's farting as he shoots him. The car. The car's passing gas as he sprays bullets all over him. So we have 18 pages left. They got Reagan. I guessed right. Dantes linked up with the underworld. Burroughs still in the neighborhood. Witnesses the killing. Phil Burroughs' accurate shooting punctures the sedan's rear tire. Good work, kid. But what's this all about? Reagan refused to be bribed. Donnelly, perhaps it's the same gang that bumped off Dopey's Brody. Maybe you're right, Burroughs, but we need proof. I'll get the proof. Phil returns to his home and takes out his makeup kit. This calls for a little work, undercover work. He's going to dress up like an old woman. Phil emerges from his house as an old woman carrying flowers. I'll haunt Dante's ward until I get a lead. Buy a flower, please. Buy a flower. Okay, I'll give you a quarter's worth. I'm luckier than I thought. Those two guys are Bugs, Halloran, and Fats Schultz. Fats is a pal of Joe the Snake. This makeup has served its purpose. Now let's see. I have it. Phil becomes a hardened criminal, a gunman just out of the penitentiary. Hello, slug Martian. When did you get out? If Donate gives Fats protection, his ward's the best hunting ground. Hey, what's going on over there? Bing, co-jewelers. Halt or I'll fire. Gangway. Take that, Cooper. Wait for me, Fats. Crack. This publisher is always smacking people with the butt of a gun. Who are you? How do you know me? I'm Slug Martin, just out of the big house and looking for work. Yeah, well, you saved me from that flatfoot, so I'll speak to Joe the Snake about giving you a job. Thank Fats. What is going on here? Hello, Joe. Meet Slug Martin. He saved me from a copper. He needs a job. Howdy. He's a stool pigeon. We don't want no stool around here. Nobody can call me a stoolie and get away with it. There goes the gun. He punched him right in the face. You'll do. We need an extra man since we had to bump off Dopey. Okay. Tonight's job will be the armored truck, which is carrying gold from the streamer Chow Morrow of the Federal Reserve Bank. We can smell the gold to a foreign country. We can sell the gold to a foreign country. Naughty will help us. Listen to the plan. Center Street Police Headquarters. This is the undercover man. Joe the Snake and his gang will hold up a armored truck at bang. That night, Joe the Snake's gang attacks the armored truck carrying government gold. But the police are prepared for it. It's Joe the Snake. The undercover man puts us wise to this. Who is he? You boys ought to know. Search me. The undercover man. I bet that was Slug Martin, the silent spectator of the fight streets of his car. Well done. The paper should give the police proper credit. What? The socialite enters Phil Barrow's room, but the work is not done yet. Eduardo Dante is next. From a socialite, Barrow changes to, please, my name is Tony, in Masha trouble. That will do. I hope Dante doesn't mind my visit. Eduardo Dante has an unexpected visitor. What do you want? I, Tony Carde, in Mosho trouble. A big man like you, maybe help? Make it short. What do you want? One Shorodala. What? You barge in at 2 a.m. and ask me for $1,000? Maybe. A big man like you, he protect Joe the Snake. He kill Dopey Brody. He plan a big holdup. Maybe he glad to pay? You fool. Who would believe you? He's $100. But that's all. Now get out. Thanks, your confession is recorded in the dictaphone of my satchel. This evidence is meant for the police, with the compliments of the undercover man. Later, Detective Phil Burrows books Devane in the magistrate's court. Eduardo Duante, charged with conspiring with one Joe the Snake to murder Dopey Brody. Who's this undercover man? How should I know? Detective Burrows, the DA's looking for you. Thrilling adventure, art, narratives in Silver Streak comics every month. Ugh. So what do we got here? We have about 15 pages. Okay, well, what do we got here for 2 pages? Oh, hello, John Williams. I am reading the comic of Battle, Captain Battle, which is it apparently appeared to me as Captain America ripoff. I don't know if it exactly is. It appeared to me because of certain circumstances as a Captain America ripoff. While I've been reading through it, I'm at page 55 of 68 of the comic. And some of the stuff seems like it's a copy, but as being an exact copy, I would have to say no. Well, we're at that point. No, it's not an exact copy. But as a picture, yes. So Gunner and Guapi. Gunner and Guapi, just two ordinary American boys, one from the east and side of New York City, one from the farm in the Midwest. They meet in a tank, become pals in work, and play, sharing their joys and crimes together in our army. The sergeant said for me to report to Tank 13 and be the gunner. But where is my driver? The darn thing don't run itself, or doesn't it? Report to Tank 13. There it is. I've got misery. Oink, oink. Chug, chug. Ong, ong, clank. All right, all right. I was just fooling. Stop, stop. Say, go back. I wonder where my gunner is. Oh, hum. Guess I'll warm up. Oh, help. It's alive. Hash mincemeat. I should be. Wonder what that title filler is running for. Gosh, I got a misery in my back and in my heart because I run over and squash that little feller. What is going? What? How are you, my tank driver? Do you know how to drive my foot signals? Poor little feller, he's mud mad because I'd rud over him with my tank and squished him down in the mud. When I press down on your head with my foot like this, it means stop quick. Inside the tank, clonk. Hey, don't do that. It gives me a misery in the head. Wow, a traveling, we should go. I hope my driver, the dope, knows my foot signals. Clangity clank. Hey, stop. Clangity clank, blam, blam, blam. Gunner gives the stop a signal. Clonk. I gave you the stop signal, you dope. It's like when you're watching Star Wars and they're driving the little and they crash into the tree. Well, we stopped, didn't we? Huh? And so now we got a new story. That it seems like every story that we've gotten in this comic was worse and worse. The first one was the best one, and as we've continued on, it's gotten worse and worse. Like the art isn't even that bad, honestly, in this comic, this story here. But what's the story like? There is no story really. 10 more pages, and this is blackout. I'm probably just going to scroll through this and call it good. There's the Nazis. They've got him by gunpoint. What happens? Boom, he just flies out, punches them, and continues on. I wish I was the first member to join. And there's Daredevil there. Anyways, that's it. Hi, John Williams. How are you doing? I don't know. I could go back and read the previous story. I think I will because I've read every story besides this last story. But I gotta go to the bathroom first. So I'm going to press mute and I'll be right back. Give me 1 or 2 minutes. Hello. I see it's 0. Anyways, we're at Blackout. We have 57 of 68 pages left of this comic book. And so that means we're pretty close. Honestly, if you want me to be serious, the first story is the best story of this comic book, and it is Captain Battle, number 1. And you go to Comic Museum and you can go find it in Lev Gleason of that publication. So here we go. Let's continue. I actually like Lev Gleason's artwork as a publication. There's a bunch of comics publications that I don't like the artwork for. This one I do. Droning motors overhead warn the people of bomb-infested cities that a killer worse than plague has come. Bombs. The only protection from the Morado scourge comes when the curtain of night drops over the city like a guardian cloak, but spiraling above the city from the forlorn ruins, there appears another defender of humanity. He is Blackout, friend of the oppressed. War is but murder in uniform. Douglas Yard. Begarde Lazardova, April 1941. It's hard to kind of read this. Monotralis whale faries, the years of men and women caught in the maelstrom of war. It's an air raid, and as thunderous blasts echo throughout the streets, to the shelters, quick! An endless precision of bomb victims stream into the Belgrade's medical hospital where Basil Boshrov works feverishly under the lights of an emergency lamp. We need more anti-tenacious serum of Beshrafov. Take here, I'll get it. What? In the laboratory. Why, what have we done to be attacked so brutally? Mangled women, men screaming and dying in agony? Why, it should not be. What's that? It's coming closer. A dive bomber. Lord, doesn't the accursed devil know this is a hospital? No, don't. But Dr. Broslov's hysterical pleading could never be heard by the gaunt pilot who drops his cargo of death on the hospital roof. There it is. Oh, terrific concussion of flames and brute force smashes the laboratory. No, no. Then the shrouded mystery overtakes the rooms as the chemicals of medicine spilled from shattered bottles ignite to billow out streams of jet black smoke that whirls around Dr. Blissov's of cylindrical force. Oh, there it is. You got a bunch of tampons on the ground. They're exploding. The choking fumes evaporate, and a new mystification commences as Mr. Broslov's clothes disintegrate off his body, and my body is turned to black, deeper than night. There you go. Standing before a mirror. There he is. He views his ebony reflection. At the same time, he experiences a newfound thrill as tremendous energy surges through his frame. What has caused this to me? I do not care. All that I know is I feel the mighty command of 1,000,000 souls who have perished from oppression in the struggle to keep democracy alive, appealing to me to carry on their ideals. I must black out tyranny. Yes, I will, for I am blackout. And thus, the will of 1,000,000 souls, blackout is born. There you go. It just keeps going on. I thought that was literally going to be the end, but classic superhero origin. The most boring. The most boring superhero origin ever. 12 hours later, 3 bombers hedge the outskirts of Belgrade. Under this continued bombing, the capital will soon fall. Spoken like a true Aryan, the jockey over the warehouses where they drop their bombs errantly for the target below. The upward from the ruins of a bombed hospital zooms a livid figure, leaving behind a pitchy smoke. It is blacked out. The last quiet spell did not last long. There are 3 mosquitoes trying to bite innocent people again. What? With the blackout gas shooting from the pores in his body, blackout banks sharply, and the force of the exhausting smoke throws the bongs off course. But blackout won't let him. Yeah, there it is. And they explode harmlessly in the Savo River to the north side of the city. Hans did it. You see that? Yeah, it must be the secret weapon we have heard rumors about. It can't be human. Mortal fear grips the pilots as blackout pursues them. Ha! They cower at something they don't understand. We'll report this to the high command. Blackout tails the planes into the enemy land and tiring of the chase. This is getting dull. Decides to end it. Pardon my smoke, chums. What? The dense blackout smoke seeps into the plane. I can't see, can't breathe. Ugh. Out of control, the planes crash to Earth. And as I have blacked out these enemies of liberty, so shall I do to all who'd cause oppression to reign. Suddenly, say, what is this? As after seeing an infinite example, I guess you can call it boring. Yeah, I guess you would say that. I don't know. It's interesting to read this through. I feel like it's got a storyline here, I guess, which you could kind of call interesting. So, it's like I feel like the first 10 pages are exciting and cool, and the last 2 hours have been boring. Well, why have you been reading this the whole time for the last 2 hours? Well, because I'm stupid, that's why. Anyways, pitiful sight is revealed to Blackout as he sees hundreds of bedraggled people marching wearily under vicious periods of kneed bayonets. So you won't march, take this. Hit your off, Joseph. Can't, I'm exhausted. No, please. I bet you'd hit your mother. I bet you'd hit your mother. Oof, off. I'm not even sure where we're at. I don't even care. We're done. Where were we at? Your mother. It's got. Oh, here we are. Okay. So we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have like 6 pages left. I don't even want to read the rest of this. You have the character being positioned by the Nazis, and he gets away. He uppercuts them in the next panel. For one ominous moment, silence lingers throughout the factory. Then the whirling machinery grinds to a halt as howling voices ring out. No more work for us. And the one thing I would say is this company, the Levi Gleason publication. Levi, this guy is a socialist, and that's why you see a lot of politics in this comic, and probably a lot of other comics as you're reading them as well. No more work for us. We demand peace, bread, and freedom. Bread, of course. Down with Himmel, liberty or death. I'll give you freedom. Bah! Unchain them and march them in the yards until they collapse. Freedom. Bah! Now, far so good. Now to bat away. Look, here he comes. Aim the gun at the marching swine. I'll get him, that black devil. Give yourself up, or we shoot the people. Ha! Why you? What else can I do? I surrender. I'll put you in your airtight room where you'll suffer delightfully until you die of suffocation. Blackout is ruthlessly thrown into the steel girded cell, and the airtight door is shut. Whew. I wonder how many victims this torture chamber has claimed. Say, they're drawing the air out now. He's getting choked out. It's started already getting difficult to breathe. No, I can't let those helpless people down. Ugh. Meanwhile, Himmel, the sadistic pleasure, excruciates his brutality over the marching people. Up on your feet, pigs. March. Ha! You thought that black devil would give you freedom. Blah! Terrific detonation drowns out Himmel's crazed voice as the roof of the factory blows off. Out shoots blackout. Leaving out blackout smoke did it. It built up tons of pressure and blew the cell apart. Now, to educate those slobs with decency. Now to educate those slobs with decency as he shoots up in the air. This is for justice, liberty, equality, and anything else I can't think of right now. There you go. And you got his leg right there. Take death as the price for your foolish freedom. Boom. Holy Jupiter. Thank you, everyone. The authorities here will treat you with respect. When the hostilities are over, I'm sure your land will welcome you back, and you will never again be slaves to brutal tyranny. Don Rico. There you go. Anyways, I hope you have a nice weekend. We'll read another comic book here in due time. And there you go. So